Yeah.
I still find my first reaction to something going sideways is for me to ask, what did I do wrong and how can I make this right?
Yeah.
And I have to pause and say, Holly, you feel grief. And sometimes hard things happen or people make hard choices that are not your responsibility. Your healing from those is your responsibility, but fixing it is not.
Welcome to More Than Small Talk. We're Suzie Eller,
Jennifer Watson,
and Holly Girth, writers and real life friends. We're inviting you to go deeper, become freer, and feel more connected.
So imagine you have a cup of coffee, a mug of tea, or a green smoothie in your hand,
and we're all hanging out in your favorite place together.
Welcome back, More Than Small Talk friends. We are doing a little mini series on questions we ask, but don't always ask out loud. So last week we tackled, why do I keep doing this? And this week we're going to talk about, Suzie.
What if this is my fault? So this is a question that many women are asking right now. What if this is my fault? So let's go a little bit deeper into that. And when's a time that you may have asked yourself that and what was going on?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the better question is when have I not asked myself? Because I think that there's a lot of times that we naturally just shift blame to ourselves, whether that's because of a relationship or how it always ends up being your fault anyways. But I do think that that's something that I know that I've asked myself multiple times through different seasons and scenarios. And I think that when I land in that, like, what if it's my fault? Well, what if it is? What do you do about it? There's always some layer of responsibility in life and outcomes. And
Sure.
Yeah.
I think this can be a healthy question, actually.
Yeah.
You know, what if this is my fault? Okay, let's say it is.
Yeah.
What am I going to do about that?
Mhm.
Instead of marinating in blame,
Yeah.
be able to move forward with healthy action.
Yeah.
What if this is my fault? Okay, if it is, what do I need to do?
Right.
What is a healthy way to address this?
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that, what if this is not my fault? Then being able to move forward and say, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
It's not my burden. So I can keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what we're usually saying when we ask this question is, what if this is all my fault?
Yes. That helps. Yeah.
Okay, take me deeper on that.
Yeah. Susie's like, I don't feel that way.
I know.
This is
This is where we always separate.
Yeah.
I know. Because I'm like, how could you not?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The mean girl that sometimes lives in other people's heads do not live in my head.
Yeah.
So this is when they look at me and I have a blank look on my face.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. And I'm like, wow.
And Jennifer's like, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know.
Yes. So, yes. I mean, this is even helpful to know. Like, you know,
there are people who don't have mean girls that live in their head.
Yeah.
I mean, but yes, I think for a lot of women, especially Christian women, what if this is all my fault is a common question.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
for many different reasons.
Excuse me. I'm going to observe and learn.
Yeah. I mean, I think that part of the reason is some of the reason why we feel that way is because we've been told that.
Okay.
If you were easier to love, or if you wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have mistreated you. And so it always goes back to us.
See, I just reject that outright.
I know.
And that's why I'm
now
like,
I do,
so fascinated.
But like, I'm 49. It's like, you know, and I think that when that is I mean, like the kind of voice, the other shoulder saying, oh yeah, they're right. I don't know. I think that's where I get really sad, not for myself, but for the other people that have lived that, because I know what it feels like, and it's awful.
Yeah.
Well, and it's crazy. And I just want to sit there just for a minute because I'm learning.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm learning. Is this tied with a faith message or is this a family message?
Both.
Okay. You got hit from both sides.
Both.
I think it's a system I've come to call be goodism.
Yeah.
Where you need to be good in order to feel safe or loved. And some core messages from that system are, if you can figure out how to do everything right, nothing will go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can figure out how to be good enough, nothing bad will happen. Therefore, if something wrong or bad is going on, then somehow you must not have been perfect enough. It's not a logical system.
It's not.
No.
But it
makes
is-
me want to cry.
I know.
Well, yeah.
It does, because it's so heavy.
It is so
that
heavy.
somebody, and okay, I'm going to get all teary because it makes me sad that these beautiful, strong, creative, amazing women carry a message that is so stinking false. and it's their identity, and that makes me weep.
Yeah.
Because that's not the message of God. That's not the message of being a woman that is treasured and loved by our Savior. So the fact that Faith puts it on there makes me sad. The fact that somebody who should have nurtured you put that on you makes me doubly sad. So, yeah, I'm feeling all kinds of mama bear fierce feelings right now. So,
Yeah. And I think Jennifer and I have done a lot of healing, especially the last few years around this, where I would say I don't live in that system anymore. I live in belovedness.
You do.
It's real.
It's so real.
And I think a piece of it that is seductive without realizing it is thinking it's all my fault means I can fix it. So when I was in the impact zone of someone else's choices, I had the choice to say, this is not my fault. I'm in the impact zone of someone else's choices. No matter how hard I try, I cannot fix this.
Yeah.
Which would mean a lot of grief. Or I could say, maybe this is somehow my fault, which means I can figure out how to fix it and everything will be okay again. And I had to let myself feel grief that I didn't want to feel in order to release responsibility that wasn't mine.
Yeah.
And I still do that.
Yeah.
I still find my first reaction to something going sideways is for me to ask, what did I do wrong and how can I make this right?
Yeah.
And I have to pause and say, Holly, you feel grief. And sometimes hard things happen or people make hard choices that are not your responsibility. Your healing from those is your responsibility, but fixing it is not.
Yeah.
So that's another, at least for me, Jennifer. Did you feel that way?
I mean, honestly, it was easier when you are a woman. I think that there's a lot of pressure on us to continue to pivot to make it easier for others instead of giving them boundaries and saying, that's not
so
on
exhausting.
me. Yeah, it's exhausting. But I feel like that is how I lived. Like the biggest chunk of my life was, this is how they are. So I need to do whatever it takes to be okay with that. Even if it means accepting mistreatment and abuse. Because if I prayed hard enough, if I just went into the situation and I crushed it and I was pleasing, then I wouldn't have been hurt. And I had that said to me.
Yeah.
I did this to you because, and
I did this to you because.
Yeah. And so basically this is heavy, but I'm so sorry I made you hit me or whatever it is. So, but I'm so sorry I made you mistreat or say horrible things to wound me with your words. Then I was like, well, that's just dumb. But it was therapy that got me to say, absolutely not.
Hey, friends, if you have a moment, would you go to your favorite podcast platform and leave a review for More Than Small Talk? You bring so much value to us when you do that, and we are grateful. Now back to our conversation.
But I think there's a continuum of nothing is ever my fault and everything is always my fault.
Yes.
And most of us lean one way or another. And unfortunately, there are people who are happy to be on everything is your fault.
Yes.
End of the continuum.
Yeah.
Yes.
And often those people are very persuasive and charming and
charismatic.
It's gaslighting is what
and
it
has
is.
all the right words. So to have the courage to say, no, I'm, like you said, Sue, I'm not going to receive that.
Right.
Sure.
I will take responsibility for what is actually mine, but I will not take responsibility for what is yours, that takes courage and practice.
And practice and time, sure.
And time and support.
And sometimes you need a mama bear.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, because I honestly, you remember the old Hulk?
Yes.
where at one moment he's just this normal guy and then he starts turning green and gets big. That's how I felt just a second ago.
Yeah.
Is very protective. And so when I think about that middle ground that you're talking about, Holly, it is being able to ask that question, is this my fault? Let's get rid of the all in that. Is some of this my fault?
Yeah.
And if it is, then we can take responsibility for that and we can heal a wound that we've caused, or we can make amends that are sincere.
Right.
And if it's not, and I know this takes time and practice and therapy and all the things, but to be able to say, this is a big old bag of rocks that somebody's asking me to carry that's not mine to carry. So I'm going to put it down. And if they hand it to me again, I'm going to put it down again until I can move forward. And I know I just made that sound easy, and I know it's not. Holly, there's a lot of times when all three of us are talking and you'll say, this is how I heard that. It surprises me every time. And that's why it's good for me.
Yeah.
Is because it helps me to have understanding of a battle that maybe I haven't been invited to, but that somebody else, it's very, very real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
that
I think,
awareness is good.
Yeah. And the counterpart to that is knowing whatever you are putting down is a valid loss.
Yes.
It's a valid loss, even if it's just the hope of a relationship being different than you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what you're setting down is a loss, and what you're walking into is relational grief. It's usually in a relationship that's involved in this kind of thing. And so I think that's the part I feel tender toward is I wish it was like this courageous act of, I'm going to set this down and set a boundary. And maybe there are people who are like that, who can lean into anger and justice and all of that. But I think a lot of us end up leaning into the tender part of, this is grief. Like I have to bury something that I truly valued in order to be free of this.
Yeah.
And so it's both and. It's like I'm choosing freedom and I'm choosing grief. Like I'm choosing to let go and I'm choosing to walk through the pain of that. Like it's just such a both and experience.
And I've experienced all of that.
Yeah.
You know, having to walk away and say, and this is really toxic and unhealthy, I still really love this person. And God, I wanted to fix it. And I kept showing up and I kept trying, but it's not good. And I grieve that. I really, really do. So I think that aspect of it is so key.
I think it's really healing too for, I think, me and Holly and probably even Carrot to see you respond in the way that you
It
did.
is, yes.
So like, that's
It's
what I
not
want to
the
say, that
first
thank
time.
you, you know, but like, that's so really important because that response for people who've like, you know, be goodism, like just put on your big girl pants and like get over it, that kind of thing, to see you kind of feel grief for us.
Yeah. It's
And
just unfair.
it validates,
Yeah,
you
it
know, a lifetime of being invalidated
Yeah.
and told you're too dramatic or it's all in your head.
And I think it's the heart of Jesus, you know, that's the spirit in you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it brought me to tears because it's so unfair. It's so unfair. There's every day that we wake up, there is a battle that we go through. And there's also joys and surprises and beauty throughout that day. But if we're carrying something that was never ours to carry, that's where my grief comes in.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that is not fair. That's unjust. She should not have that message in her head because she's amazing and wonderful. And I wish that she could see not through the eyes of do-goodism, but see through the eyes of somebody who looks at her and says, oh, you take my breath okay with how brave you are, with how strong you are, with how kind and insightful you are. So everything within me wants to take that burden from you and throw it as far as I can, because it's not yours to carry.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Protective mama bear. Sorry.
We love
I love it. I love it.
And yeah, for anyone listening, if you have something in your life today that you've been carrying, this is your moment when you can set it down. Or even more than set it down, place it in the hands of Jesus. And know there may be grief in that, but there's also healing ahead.
Yeah. And I would also just say this really quick, is that if you pick it back up, it's okay to put it back down again as many times as you need until one day you look at it and you think, oh, you were never meant for me.
Yep.
And I am going to walk past you now and not look back. And if that takes 100 times of putting it down.
No, more like 10,000.
Or 10,000.
Yep.
Brave on you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for today's episode. Thanks for going deeper, becoming freer, and connecting with us. More Than Small Talk is a part of the KLRC Podcast Network and is produced by Kara Culver. Show notes and resources are available on the More Than Small Talk page on klrc.com. You can also join us in our Facebook group. Subscribe to More Than Small Talk on your favorite app so you won't ever miss an episode.